Long before the world became what it is today, a mighty kingdom existed. This mighty kingdom was known as Adehyeman. Among all the 7 kingdoms in the land, none could match the wealth, influence and power of the Adehyeman kingdom. This mighty kingdom was ruled by the legendary Nana Checheku I, a king whose riches were spoken of from village to village. His granaries overflowed with food, his treasury glittered with gold, and his warriors struck fear into every neighboring kingdom. Yet, despite all his wealth and power, the great king lacked the one thing every ruler desperately desired: a son. Within the Adehyeman kingdom were 10 villages, each governed by its own chief under the authority of the king. Of all these villages, one stood above the rest for its peace and discipline. The name of this village was Abimba. Abimba was ruled by Nana Kodua II, a chief who believed that peace could only exist where justice prevailed. Every law was enforced without compromise, and anyone who dared to break those laws faced severe punishment. That was why no village in the Adehyeman kingdom was more peaceful than Abimba. It was in this village that a young man named Konadu lived. Unlike many young men his age, Konadu had no wealth to boast of. It was known that Konadu was an orphan and was raised by his kind-hearted aunt, Dufii. Though life had not been easy for them, Dufii taught him lessons that money could never buy. Always be humble. Respect everyone. Good character is greater than riches. And Konadu listened. As the years passed, he grew into a handsome, respectful, and hard-working young man. He greeted both young and old with humility, never insulted anyone, and always offered a helping hand whenever he could. Before long, everyone in Abimba loved him. Many villagers secretly wished he had been born into the royal family instead. Unfortunately, not everyone shared that admiration. The Queen Mother despised Konadu. Every compliment the villagers gave him felt like an insult to her own son. Her son was Kwesi Kodua, the heir to the Abimba throne. Ironically, Kwesi and Konadu had been the closest of friends since childhood. But where Konadu was humble, Kwesi was arrogant. Where Konadu earned respect, Kwesi demanded it. He believed being the future chief meant he deserved anything he wanted. And there was one thing he wanted more than anything else: a beautiful young woman named Adehyeman. Adehyeman was widely regarded as the most beautiful maiden in Abimba. Her beauty captivated every young man who laid eyes on her, but none admired her more than Kwesi. Time after time, he approached her. Time after time, she rejected him. She wouldn't even spare him a second glance. Frustrated, Kwesi often complained to Konadu. "My friend," Konadu would say gently, "perhaps if you changed your attitude, Adehyeman might begin to see the good in you." Those words always angered Kwesi. He refused to believe his attitude was the problem. In his mind, Adehyeman simply had not yet realized how fortunate she would be to become his wife. Far away, inside the magnificent royal palace of Adehyeman, another problem was beginning to trouble the kingdom. One morning, the Council of Elders summoned King Nana Checheku I to an emergency meeting. The matter before them was one no one dared ignore any longer. The king had no son. He had already married 4 wives. Together they had blessed him with 14 children. But every single one of them was a girl. According to tradition, if a king died without a son, the throne would pass to his first nephew. That nephew was a young man named Asempa. The king had already begun teaching him the customs and responsibilities of leadership. But the elders were deeply concerned. They did not believe Asempa possessed the wisdom, strength, or leadership qualities required to rule the mighty Adehyeman kingdom. After much discussion, They presented their solution. "Your Majesty," one elder began respectfully, "we ask that you marry one more wife. We believe the gods will bless you with a son with her." The king sighed. He was exhausted. He had accepted his fate long ago. "I have tried enough," he replied calmly. "Perhaps the gods have chosen another path for this kingdom." But the elders would not give up. They believed destiny had not yet spoken its final word. They had already chosen the woman they believed should become the king's fifth wife. A young woman from Abimba village. Her name was Adehyeman. Adehyeman was the only child of Openin Ose, the wealthiest farmer in the entire Adehyeman kingdom. His land stretched farther than the eye could see. His barns overflowed with harvests. His cattle multiplied every season. Yet despite all his riches, he had only one child. And because she was his only heir, he wanted her to marry a man who possessed qualities greater than wealth. A man of wisdom. A man of courage. A man of integrity. To Openin Ose, only one man fit that description. And that man was Konadu. One quiet Saturday afternoon, the old rich farmer rested beneath the shade of a giant mango tree in front of his compound. He called Adehyeman to sit beside him. "My daughter," he said gently, "I have made a decision." He explained that he wished to give her hand in marriage to Konadu and carefully told her why. To his surprise, Adehyeman smiled. She had admired Konadu for a very long time. His humility, his kindness, his handsome appearance. Everything about him had quietly captured her heart. Without hesitation, she accepted her father's decision. The old man could not hide his joy. Only one thing remained. He had to speak with Konadu. A few days later, Openin Ose invited the young man to his home. Konadu was welcomed warmly and served the finest meal the old farmer could offer before they sat together to talk. "My son," the old man began, "have you started thinking about marriage?" Konadu smiled politely and responded, "No, Openin. There is no woman in my life yet." The rich old man leaned forward and asked, "So, is there no lady in this village who has caught your attention?" Konadu laughed softly. He retorted, "There are many beautiful women in Abimba, but marriage is for life. I do not wish to rush into it. I want to marry the woman I will spend the rest of my life with." The rich old farmer nodded. Then he asked the question that changed everything. "All right. What do you think of my daughter, Adehyeman?" Konadu smiled and responded, "Openin, your daughter is the most beautiful woman in this village. Who wouldn't admire her?" The old man smiled back. He then asked Konadu the most difficult question. "So would you marry her if I gave her to you?" Konadu blinked in surprise. "You want me to marry your daughter? What about Prince Kwesi? I thought you wanted me to speak to him on your behalf." The old man shook his head firmly. "Never. Over my dead body will my daughter marry Kwesi. You are the man I have chosen." Silence filled the air. Konadu's heart raced. Part of him wanted to say yes immediately, but another part remembered his childhood friend. Kwesi loved Adehyeman with all his heart. Would accepting this proposal destroy their friendship forever? After a long silence, Konadu finally spoke. "Apanin, this is a great honor, but please, give me some time to think about it." The old man smiled and said, "A wise man never rushes an important decision. I can understand, my son. Take some time to think about it, and let me hear from you in good time." Konadu thanked the rich old man and they began to eat. Afterwards, Konadu began his long walk home. With every step he took, his thoughts grew heavier. His heart wanted Adehyeman. His conscience reminded him of Kwesi. Little did Konadu know, The decision he was about to make would not only change his own life, it would change the fate of the entire Adehyeman kingdom.